So imagine this. You're watching a robot walk across a stage, and it moves so naturally that you're 100% convinced there's a person inside a costume. The whole internet thinks it's fake. Thousands of people are calling it a scam. And then, right there on stage the next day, the CEO takes a pair of scissors and literally cuts the robot's leg open. Live. In front of everyone. That actually happened 3 months ago in China. And honestly, it's the moment I realized we've crossed into a completely different phase with humanoid robots. Because this isn't about technology anymore. This is about something way more unsettling. Stay with me here, because what I'm about to show you is going to make you question everything you thought you knew about where we're at with AI and robotics. Okay, so let's back up for a second. The robot I'm talking about is called IRON, and it's made by a Chinese electric car company called XPeng. And when they unveiled it at their AI Day event in November, the video went absolutely nuclear on Chinese social media. And you can see why. When you watch IRON walk, I mean really watch it, there's this moment where your brain just glitches. The hip sway is too perfect. The shoulders move with this subtle rhythm that's distinctly human. The balance corrections as it steps are so natural that you don't even notice them happening. People in the crowd started pointing at what they thought was an ear outline under the suit. Someone claimed they could see the outline of undergarments on the back. The conspiracy theories were flying everywhere. And here's the thing. This wasn't just random people on the internet being skeptical. This was tech-savvy Chinese audiences who've seen plenty of robot demos before. They know robots, and even they weren't buying it. The CEO, He Xiaopeng, said his entire robotics team couldn't sleep that night. Not because they were upset, because they were watching the reactions blow up online and couldn't believe people thought it was fake. I think they knew what was coming next. Because remember, Elon Musk literally did this exact scam back in 2021. He had a person in a spandex suit pretend to be the Optimus robot at a Tesla event. So people had every reason to be suspicious. Now, cutting open the robot leg was dramatic, sure. But here's what nobody's talking about. And this is where it gets really interesting. That same week, another Chinese humanoid had a very different kind of viral moment. One that revealed something way more important about where we actually are with this technology. But before I get to that, you need to understand why IRON's movement was so freakishly good in the first place. So IRON isn't just wrapped in rubber or hard plastic like most robots. It's got something called a 3D printed elastomer lattice layer underneath the outer skin. Basically, it's like artificial muscles. And these muscles do two things that are absolutely game-changing. First, they dampen vibrations. You know how when you watch most robots walk, there's this jerky, mechanical quality to every step? That's because the motors and joints create all these micro-vibrations that make the motion look robotic. IRON's elastomer layer absorbs those vibrations, so the movement looks smooth. Second, and this is wild, elastomers are 60 to 70% lighter than metal at the same volume. So the robot can redistribute weight to the hands, the joints, the head, the places that actually need precision control. Less weight in the limbs means less torque needed, which means less energy, which means more efficient, natural movement. And it's got 82 degrees of freedom in its body. For context, a human has about 244, but most of that is in our face and fingers. So 82 is actually pretty close to full-body human movement. But here's what I want you to understand. All of that incredible engineering, it doesn't guarantee success, because that same week, a different company brought their humanoid to a shopping mall in Shenzhen for a live demo. Everything's going great. The robot does a choreographed walk, interacts with people, stands next to a child for photos. And then, while just standing there, completely still, it falls backward. Face plants on stage. Staff rushed in, grabbed it, made some adjustments, brought it back later strapped to a support frame. The video went absolutely viral, but for all the wrong reasons. And you know what? I think that fall was actually more important than IRON's successful walk, because it showed us the truth. These robots are almost there. They can walk, they can balance, they can move naturally, for a while. But they're still machines operating at the absolute edge of their capabilities. One tiny sensor glitch, one calculation error, one unexpected shift in weight, and down they go. Because while XPeng was cutting open robots and others were face-planting at malls, a different company took their humanoid to one of the most hostile environments on Earth and did something absolutely insane. So there's this robot called the G1, made by a company called Unitree. It's about 4 feet tall, weighs 77 pounds. Nothing fancy about it compared to iron. It's more industrial looking, more utilitarian. And in February, they took this thing to Xinjiang, China, to the Altai region, where the temperature was negative 47.4 degrees Celsius. That's negative 53 Fahrenheit. At those temperatures, batteries die, lubricants freeze solid, plastics become brittle and shatter. Most electronics just stop working, and they made it walk over 130,000 steps across a snowfield, tracing out the shape of a Winter Olympics emblem that was 186 meters long. Let me put that in perspective. That's not just walking in a straight line. That's precision path following with centimeter-level GPS accuracy in brutal cold, across uneven icy terrain, for hours. They dressed it in a little orange puffer jacket, which is adorable but also necessary, and added plastic covers around the joints to protect them. But the fact that it worked at all, that's not supposed to be possible yet. And here's why this matters for you, whether you care about robots or not. Both approaches are advancing fast, way faster than most people realize. Unitree shipped over 5,500 humanoid robots in 2025. That's not prototypes. That's actual deployments. China is investing $26 billion in government support for humanoid robotics. They're projecting up to 100,000 units shipped in 2026. For comparison, the entire global humanoid market shipped maybe 13,000 to 16,000 units in 2025. So we're talking about potential 10x growth in a single year. Now you might be wondering, okay, but when are these actually coming to regular people's homes? When can I get one to do my laundry and dishes? And that's where things get really complicated. Because there's one robot that's already taking pre-orders for home delivery in 2026. And what they're doing with your data is, well, let me put it this way. So there's this robot called NEO, made by a Norwegian company called 1X. And they've opened pre-orders, $20,000 to own one. Or you can pay $489 a month as a subscription. First deliveries are scheduled for Q2 2026. This is happening this year. Now, 1X says this is necessary for the robot to get better at household tasks. And technically, they're right. But we're talking about cameras and sensors continuously operating inside your private home, feeding data to an AI system. The robots are here. They're real. And they're coming faster than anyone expected. If you found this eye-opening, do me a favor, share it. Because more people need to be having this conversation. And let me know in the comments. Would you actually want one of these in your home? Or does this whole thing make you uncomfortable? I'll see you in the next one.